Hello and welcome to the Inspire Life podcast. My name is Michael. I am your producer and co-host, and today I'm really excited to have our guest Nina Segura on the show to talk more about, female leadership, women entrepreneurship, and what you can do to make massive transformation in your life. Nina is the founder of Metaspire Consulting. She is also the best-selling author of the book Every Day is Friday, and she also founded womenleadershippower.com. So in this conversation, Nina and I are going to talk a bit about her work and her story of how she got to founding Metaspire Consulting, as well as her book, which I will post a link for you to be able to grab your own copy in the show notes here. So really excited for you to tune in here. I also, before we get started here, I just want to say I'm very grateful for all of our listeners. I do keep track of all of our stats here, and I know that we have a solid amount of people who are tuning in to every episode. So I just want to say I really appreciate you. Again, Dr. Mel and I really want to bring you valuable content. We want to share with you people who we trust, who we believe in, and who we collaborate with, because that's what it's all about, right? When it comes to business, when it comes to healing, when it comes to just really progressing as a society and as individuals within society, collaboration is the way to go. So without further ado, I guess before we jump into the episode, let's hear a word from one of our sponsors. This episode of the Inspire Life podcast is brought to you by Inspire Health Coaching, helping busy professionals overcome food addiction to reclaim their energy and optimize their lives. Our holistic approach to coaching will help you find new realities of peace and ease in meals, movement, and mindset. Through creating a wellness vision, long-term goals, and weekly experiments, you'll find yourself creating a new life, all with the support and accountability of a trusted coach who has been through it. If you want to learn more about what we do, how we work with people to accomplish their health and wellness goals, or to set up your initial consultation, text us at 651-500-8162. Or if you have ideas for the podcast or blog, know someone who might be an awesome guest, or even just if you want to connect more with someone who has been there, don't hesitate to text or email us at michael@coachkrug.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. Welcome to the Inspire Life podcast, everyone. Michael here, your co-host and producer. I am really excited today to have our guest, Nina Segura, and she's just honestly an awesome individual of light, of love, who shares so many gifts with the world. But more about her, professionally, what she does. So she is the founder of Metaspire Consulting. She is also a best-selling author of her book, Every Day is Friday. And she is also the creator of womenleadershippower.com. So I think I got all that. And we are going to talk today a bit about Nina's story, a bit about female and women entrepreneurship, and also just what it really takes to transform, whether it's an individual or community group aspect. Nina is definitely an expert in that realm. So Nina, if you want to say hi and touch on anything else that
I was like, that was so articulate. I feel like so good hearing that. Thank you. I was like, oh, that he's talking about me. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for having me. I love your message about being inspirational, and I have Inspire all over my room, and I found you all, and I thought that there was so much resonance. I just wanted to stay connected. So I appreciate the ability to have a conversation today and collaborate.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, Nina, actually, you found us through Dr. Mel's YouTube channel, correct? Can you tell us more about how we got connected?
Yes. Anytime I go to do a keynote, or like every month we do master classes, I like to do SRI, or I like to look for inspirational, I like to be connected with other people embodying their message and doing good in the world. And when I found Dr. Mel, I had hoped she was local because there's an Inspire Chiropractic by us. And then I found out she's in Minnesota. And I think I called you and I said, hey, I have this women's group, and we have this theme of transformation later on in the year. Any chance we could collaborate? And there was so much resonance that we were like, yeah, let's figure this out. And it was just like sparks were flying, and how we could co-create.
Absolutely, yeah. And Nina, she mentioned SRI, which I know most of our listeners, a lot of you are practice members at Inspire Life and know Network Spinal Care. And SRI is that somatorespiratory integration. So those are really powerful breathing exercises to help us, transfer and transmute energy within our body to
become more vibrant and really step into our authentic self. So it was kind of just this serendipitous thing where Dr. Mel so happened to have, pretty good videos on SRI on YouTube. You had mentioned that there's not a ton that are very informative like hers. So
Yeah.
For those of you listening too, I can drop a link to the playlist in the show notes here. But as for today's episode, Nina, I really want to talk to you more about your story, how you got to where you're at, your inspiration for starting your consulting business, for writing your book, and really what it means to you being a woman entrepreneur. So if one of those directions, if you want to go first, if there's any place you feel like there's a good beginning, otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing that's coming across to me as you're saying that is like, I think a lot of women feel pressure to do life and business as if we're men. And, men have really paved the way for women in business. And there's still a lot of whatever you want to call it, subconscious bias, conscious bias, whatever it is. We've just actually raised the bar. I think 7% of Fortune 500 companies now have women in them, in the seats of CEO. Yeah, so we're climbing slowly. And at the same time with COVID, there's been a lot of women who, especially with children, who have felt like they had to pick between raising their kids and having businesses. On top of, looking at how to retain our best employees and finding good people and, keeping, being loyal to the people who brought us where we are today and, maybe having a vision where we want to go to the next level. And so there's a lot of going on for women. And so what I found for myself is that it was other women that helped me realize that I was smart. I didn't grow up in the best of circumstances, so I really didn't think I was smart. I didn't think I was good enough and really have struggled with that on and off throughout my career. But I'll never forget a conversation that I had with Crystal Obach, and we were getting ready, worked at American Express for 17 years, and we're getting ready to do this bachelor's degree program. And I'm like, I'm just not smart enough to get a bachelor's degree. I just don't think I can do it. And she said, you are so smart. And what I didn't get from other, people in my life, I was able to get from other women that could see us, that could see that, within me. And then I went on to get my master's and all these nifty certifications. So when you ask me how I got where I am today, I think it's really about deep listening, I think would be one thing, and listening to other people and co-creating with them, right? And when I started my business, I worked in global reengineering, creating worldwide transformational change for American Express, and I had reached a point in my career where I felt like I could continue on, but my brother had gotten cancer, and I just really felt like there was more. I didn't know what it was, but I knew there was more than that. And I don't know what SRI stage that is. I'm sure you probably know. Somebody knows, but that's it. And so I just kind of went into, I hired a coach. I, looked at what my strengths were, and my brother did get better. And I, looked at, boy, a lot of people could really get value from what I could provide. And I called my friends at American Express, and I was like, hey, if we could form the perfect company, what would it be? Our whole department at that point was dismantled, just so you know. So the universe actually worked in my favor. I got a year's worth of severance. I was very lucky, and I basically created a company by asking questions. I think asking questions is a powerful tool as a woman in business. Deep listening to our intuition, listening to other people we respect and enjoy, and then, co-creating with others. We do business different. Like we might, how can we be of service? It's just a different way, and there's nothing right or wrong. And I don't want to generalize. I realize I'm generalizing, but I think most women have a natural gift for intuition and deep listening. And I think that leaning into those things is great. Without that, we would just be, machines, right? So like even integrating that feminine aspect, regardless of gender, I think is where the world's headed. So that's why I asked to interview Mel on leadership trends and insights on my podcast, soon to be. And because I really think that, tapping into all of us, all aspects of us, is what helps us get to the next level in life. That was a really long answer.
That's fantastic. I mean, the biggest takeaways too from what I'm hearing is you had really strong mentors and leaders who you were able to, like you said, collaborate and co-create with, because that's what helps us all move forward, is when we're able to really empathize and, see and hear what others are doing and what their concerns are and what their objectives are and their goals. And then we figure out a way together to move forward. There's that old adage or that old quote, it's, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's kind of what I'm hearing from you. And then you touched on, two of the biggest things, not only in business, I think just in life in general, when it comes to connection and really hearing people and also being heard, is that asking questions and listening. In my work as a health and wellness coach, that's what I do with people all day, is I ask them questions. I reflect what they're saying back to them, because when we can get that kind of hear what we're saying or what we're processing from an outside perspective, that is when it opens up in us the ability to see it from a different angle and then move forward and either, maybe do something different or take it this direction, that direction, right? So really, it sounds like you're creating a space where you're able to do that on a larger scale with a lot of different people in a lot of different ways, which is just so cool to hear. I thank you for sharing all of that.
Oh my goodness. I love everything you said. Yeah, I forgot that quote. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, you're right. I think what you do is so important. I think that realizing that we're more than, just the work that we do, we can tend to sort of play small and overwork ourselves. And when that happens, we're not at our best. We're not energy rich. We're not in a place where we can really inspire others. And so when we're looking at increasing profitability or retaining our clients or keeping our clients loyal, that what you just said is so important, which is asking questions and then also reflecting, right? So like when we get to a certain point, I just had some completion calls with some of our members, and I was like really happy for them. They got what they wanted out of the program, and I was happy that it was time, it was time for them to do the next thing. And it wasn't about just, no, keep them, keep them here. No, it was like, no, we're complete, we're complete. And this is what we want for you to go off and, have what you're wanting for your company. So I feel very blessed to be where I am today. Whatever I can do to give back, I'm always listening.
Yeah, that's that kind of sounds like the service and the servant mindset. You've experienced things that help you, help other people get to where they want to be, and really just allowing them to go through their journey, have their transformation, and then recognizing it's, when they get to that point where they're at where they want to be, or if you've served them to your full capacity, there's like a celebration, right? It's not like a complete end, right? Like they're going to keep going, but if it's time for them to move on or find other mentors or places to collaborate, really celebrating that and saying, hey, I'm pumped for you as you take this next step into further transformation. That's so amazing. Just with my work and with Dr. Mel's work as well, with her type of chiropractic, she's really training people to readjust themselves so that they don't have to rely on her forever. And me with my coaching, I don't want to have to check in with people every single week. I want them to create lifestyle and behavior choices that they become their normal. And then, my mission is hopefully to inspire other people to become health coaches or do more health coaching, whether it's with their family and just having people think more critically about the choices they're making for their health. So there's definitely a lot of synergy here with what you do and what we're doing up here in Minnesota. You're down in Florida too, by the way.
Yes.
But yeah, it's fun. And yeah, anything else that you wanted to share on that?
Otherwise, what came to me when you were saying that is, also to hold our value, right? Because the work that we do is transformational. And so hold that in high regard, and we don't have to help everyone. Not everybody's a fit for us, and that's okay. It's okay to say, I think that you would be best served elsewhere. That's actually a gift to someone. That's creating transformation for that person, because as I hold my value high, then they get a chance to see, are they holding themselves high? When we do master classes, I'll check in with people afterwards. We always meet the first Tuesday of every month. And, I always check in with new people to see what was that like for you. And I like to listen, to see what it was like for them. And if they're a good fit and I feel like I want to be of service and I can be of service to this person, I'll offer to have them become a member. And if I don't feel that, and if I'm not listening, if I'm listening to my leader within, I'll feel it in my body. And then I'll respond from there versus reacting to financial pressures. I need to do this because there's this bill and that bill, and or there's this new hire I need to bring on board, or whatever it is, those external pressures. It's like a yes and, like, yeah, I see you, I hear you, and I'm committed to my vision, I'm committed to my value, I'm committed to my impact. And the only way to do that, really, I think, is to be in the moment and co-create with what's in front of me, right? And see, what is that person committed, are they committed to healing? And I'm sure you're the same way. Like, you don't just take anyone. I know we all want the world to be a better place, but I'm not the savior of the world, and I've learned that over time, because I would get overworked, eat too much chocolate, too much French fries. My husband would be like, please cut out stuff on your calendar, I can't get an appointment with you. Like, it can really go into that, right? We can go into that kind of survival mode.
Yeah.
So I think the work you do is really important, because people come to us and say they want to increase their executive presence. Well, how do I do that when I'm not healthy, when I'm physically not in my body? Like, it's not going to be easy that way.
Yeah. Gosh, you bring up a couple of really good points there. First, what I heard from a business perspective is we want to change the world and help people. And also there is a financial piece where we really, we want to get compensated for what we do. However, and this is something that it came out in what you were saying, and it's also something that Dr. Mel and I have learned from our business coaches, is that you must make sure that whoever you are serving is in a space where they can receive what it is you're going to serve them with, and that they are committed to that transformation moving forward. And that really comes down to just acting in integrity and being authentic with, this is what I have to offer. I see where you're at. Either A, I might be the right person for you, or if not, I'm going to try and find you the right person. Like me personally, I have actually probably referred more people out to other practitioners than I have actually worked with, because I make sure that the people that I'm going to serve are going to be successful with me.
That's
right. It's just a really important thing. And that's, like you said, that's how we co-create and really collaborate in the most effective way. And then two, what I'm hearing you say as well is that, I guess, just for me as a health coach, right, if I am not doing the things to honor myself and my health, my family health as well, I can't show up fully for those that I'm serving. And kind of same with you, right? Like, you need to be able to walk the walk to be able to, show people that this is possible and that this transformation is a reality that you can step into if you put in the work as well.
Yeah. And, so many people, like, are looking for that, silver bullet, right? And what you're saying is, well, let's wait a minute. Are you committed, like, to this outcome? You might not know how it's going to occur, and that's okay. That's a separate stage, I know, in SRI, but, like, that was my dog. I don't know. She was resonant with that. I don't know if you heard her.
She loved it.
She liked that. She's like, yay, don't worry about how it's going to happen. There's time for that. But, I think we can try to maybe take on too much. And I think it's beautiful to be able to say, wait, I'm committed to my outcomes. Like, I know what my vision is, a world where women lead, influence, and empower one another without losing our feminine nature. And so, just so you know, my dog wanted to say hi. I only have two, so there won't be any more interruptions. This is karma. So, I think that's what it is, right? And then inviting people to the opportunity of what are you committed to, and having there's a scripture, iron sharpens iron, and taking time for that to occur. And I can't stress that enough. Like, if we want transformation to occur, how much time are we committing for that? Maybe we don't know how, but we do know that we can create space for it. We can invest in people like you and Mel, and we can invest in people who have helped people through struggles, so I think it's important to think about, how important am I? How important is this message? and that to not look at it as, especially like as a selfish thing, as a bad thing, to look at it as wait a minute, this is going to multiply. I when I take care of myself, it really is going to transfer to my family and to my team and to my organization, ultimately to the world. I just my book, my second revision of my book's coming out, and the CEO of Zoom endorsed the
Eric
book.
Yuan.
Yes.
Really?
And so
Okay.
he endorsed the book, and I was very happy and very proud of that. And his whole message, and I interviewed him in the transcripts in the book, and he said, he just says it's all about happiness. He left Cisco because he knew that he could create a better product. And he did. Look at it. He had no idea when I first interviewed him. Zoom was not a household name at all. Like, I had literally cold called him, and I just felt like this intuition of, I want to interview him. He looks like a cool guy. Because when Zoom started, it was all about users, and it's a bad name, users, but it's all about the experience, customer experience. Yeah. And I just liked it the way he thought, and I wanted to interview him. So I, called him and interviewed him. And then he later endorsed my book, and we did some virtual team building for them and stuff. But like, I think it's following that urge, even though it's like, this is crazy, but like, not being completely reckless, but following that intuition and that joy, and seeing what happens. And if nothing happens, at least you followed that, right? Like, I mean, when we don't follow it, I think for me, it messes with my confidence, and then I'm people pleasing, and I'm controlling things, and the whole gamut.
It's a lot of good points there. That sometimes, if we do something and we don't necessarily see a effect right away, right? Or in business terms, the ROI, sometimes it takes a long time too. And if it is a sunken cost or whatever, I mean, there's still the learning from the experience as well. So also really, really cool. I didn't know that you had interviewed Eric Yuan about your book. I'm the same as you. I've read up his story. It's absolutely fascinating, the way that he started Zoom and why he started it and everything. So really cool to hear that your book is endorsed by him. If you could too, touch on your book a bit, just for our listeners, so they know maybe a little bit about it, and then where they can get it as well, because I would love to share with our listeners.
I'm actually in the process of, so right now you can get it on Amazon. There's a new revision coming out. So the book is Every Day is Friday. And so the thought behind it is, what if we could blur the lines between work and play? Like, you seem to have that. You and Mel have that. So how, okay, right, exactly. How can I make money, from my passion, but also like, how can I serve the world? Like, how can I create value for people who will appreciate it? And so the book really was based on my experience working from with Fortune 100 companies, saving them millions of dollars, and looking at how to rearrange their businesses so that, we save time and money, we retain their best talent, we looked at like how we could be, more effective and create, better systems. But it was also looking at, how to scale businesses. So there's a strategic roadmap in the book, and it basically supports you in making Every Day Friday for yourself. And there's 4 parts to it. And the first part is alignment, which I'm sure Mel would be like, yay, alignment. And probably you too, right? And so
absolutely.
It's the getting your act together, ACTT. So the first A is for alignment, and that's getting clear on our vision, our values, really the foundation. Every business has that. And so when you look at, even if you work for a business, what are the vision and the values of that organization? And is that something that you really resonate with, so that you can create a shared vision for yourself? And, once there's other components of alignment, I won't go into all of them, but it's really getting that foundation straight. And then C, it stands for crew. And that's what you and I are becoming, and Mel, which is like, wait, what are you up to? How can I contribute? Crew. If you think back to being the captain of a ship in the 1800s, your success depends on how well your crew did. In fact, your life would depend on it. When you're not there, your crew needs to take over. And the same, your crew's life would be dependent on you as the captain. And it's that co-creation of your success is my success. I'm thinking about like, who needs a health coach, right? Because they know you do it. So I'm like, let me think about that. So it's really surrounding ourselves with mastermind groups, surrounding ourselves with coaches, people who see our value. And when we doubt our value, that'll be like, wait, this is your vision. You're committed, right? I'm committed. Are you committed? And creating, and there's, looking at ideal clients is under crew, looking at our superpowers, going to understand what our superpowers are. It's just on our website, all over the place. And so and then we're just constantly looking at different ways to recognize our strengths and the strengths of those around us. And then the first T is for transformation, right? We talked about that too. I can't force transformation to happen, but I can commit to time and space, like conversations like this, or spending time with you as a coach, a health coach, or spending time at Mel's, to get adjusted. I can commit to that, or a mastermind group, whatever it is. And then the last T is for transition. Tony Robbins said that most people overestimate what they can do, in 90 days. I'm sorry, they underestimate what they can do in 90 days and overestimate what they can do in 5 years. But if we just take like daily actions, that's why businesses have quarterly goals, because most, successes are really based in 3-month increments. So that, and there's other parts to transition too, which is like, how will I recover when I fail? Thinking through, how can I learn? So the book goes through that, and it's very interactive. It's not like, I'm going to tell you how it is. It's just, there's a lot of questions in that book. In fact, I had to pay extra because there's so many charts in there. They're like, okay, I don't know how we're going to get this on Kindle. I'm like, well, I didn't really write it for people who like to read. I write it for people who like want to create something, so.
Okay. So you recommend the paperback or the hard copy?
Yeah, definitely the paperback. And I would wait, I'll get in touch with you and get, the second revision's coming out, and it's just more updated and more, it's more for people, it's for entrepreneurs, but it's also for people who work in organizations. And so it's a little richer, but I'll get with you. And
very cool. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big Kindle reader, but I also like the feel of a paperback as well. So
yeah, because I like to write in it and dog ear it. And this is the 15 commitments of conscious leadership. And it's just,
full.
I believe in a well-loved book,
You've written another book within it.
Oh, no, I didn't write it, but just my books are well-loved. Yeah. I don't know if you can see all the dog ears and stuff.
Awesome. Well, Nina, I have one more question for you. And I ask this question to every guest, and it's pretty open, so take your time if you need. What is the one thing that you would leave our listeners with today?
Look within yourself for inspiration, even when you feel like you're in a lot of pain. I've been there where it hurts so bad, and to trust the pain, to trust the confusion, to trust myself, to trust yourself, and knowing that will bring you the answer, even though it doesn't feel like it at the time.
Absolutely. There's a lot of power in going internal and recognizing that we, like you said, have value. We are beings of light and love, and we always have the capacity to transform. So, Nina, I thank you so much for being on the Inspire Life podcast. Like I said, for all that you do. Before you go, can you share with our listeners how can they get in touch with you? Can they follow you on social medias, your website, any handles? And I'll include them in the show notes as well.
Yeah, if you go to Metaspire, Metaspire, metaspireconsulting.com, click the link and sign up for a success call. I'd love to hear from you. And, if you fill that out, I know it might be a couple weeks. I'm usually a couple weeks booked out, but please fill it out. And, if you want it earlier time, put something in the notes and I'll see what I can do.
Awesome. I got my notes. And I share this too. I love doing podcasts because I always learn something myself as well. So Nina, thank you so much for everything that you do. I have a feeling too that we will definitely have you on the show again in the future, because you have a lot more to share, not only with our listeners, but the world. So thank you again so much.
Michael, thank you for having me.
Awesome. This has been a pleasure. And to all of our listeners, as always, keep inspiring.
Thanks for tuning into the Inspire Life podcast. Please comment, like, and subscribe on whatever channel it is that you're tuning in on today. That helps Dr. Mel and I get the word out to more folks and help everyone continue to progress along their healing path. Also, don't forget to check out the links to get in touch with Nina and check out her work. I've included links for the book as well as her websites in the show notes here. And I mean, if you listen to today's episode, I strongly recommend just reach out to Nina, let her know what was it that came about for you, what's your plan of action, and how do you plan to transform. Lastly, jump on over to Facebook and join the Inspired Living community. There, Dr. Mel and I share all of our content as well as share tips and tricks to help you continue to live your most inspired and thriving life. And, of course, until next time, my friends, please keep inspiring. Thank you.